This came out in the news just yesterday. This is May 21st yesterday. Today is the 22nd. And yesterday, the story was sales are slow, but prices rise as the pandemic shutdown changes real estate agents' operations. And we have a couple of questions that a couple of you submitted some questions about this. We had Aaliyah from Banning, California, who asked, will the COVID-19 cause housing prices on the Big Island to plummet? And we also had a follow-up from Eric from Warsaw, Poland. So it's always cool to get a thing from Warsaw, Poland. What is your prediction of condo prices in the coming 1 to 3 months on Oahu? So being as this is a good Big Island question and a good Oahu question, I thought it'd be a great way for us to get the ball rolling. Dylan, why don't you kind of start with this one? Is what's going on? The article had a very interesting observation about prices and demand and listings. What's going on?
Well, as we discussed in past weeks, there's definitely been a big reduction in the number of listings that are coming on the market. You know, it seems like sellers are a little bit wary of putting their property on the market right now. So there's been anywhere between like a 40 and 50% reduction, depending on which market you're in terms of the number of listings. So there's half as many homes on the market. But as anybody that understands economics, supply and demand drives price. And so if supply goes down and demand somewhat stays the same, prices go up. And that's pretty much what we're seeing simplified here, is that the buyer demand is still there. If you're here and you want to buy and you want to live here, you're still going to buy, regardless of the situation that we're going through right now. And so we're definitely seeing that. I'm having 3 closings between yesterday and Monday or Tuesday that went into escrow since the lockdown began, and all of those are closing within 45 days. So the buyer demand is still there, and that's definitely holding up prices. And if you look back in the last 50 years, when there's been economic slowdowns, the only real time that the prices crashed was in 2008, 2009. And there was this is a long discussion, but a lot of other underlying issues with lending and credit and people getting loans that they shouldn't have gotten that led to that bubble. Those systemic issues have been fixed since then. So that those kinds of things aren't going to affect the market right now. You can still get a loan. You can still get a USDA loan. You can still get a VA loan. Some of the real big jumbo programs have tightened up if you're going to get like a $2 million loan. But if you're a regular home buyer, in that $300 to $1 million price range, you can still get a loan pretty much no problem, as long as your employment hasn't changed. So that's what we're seeing with prices continuing to inch up a little bit. And even though the number of sales that are happening per month are falling.
Interesting. So prices are going up. Scott, so the follow-on question here from Eric at Warsaw, Poland says, what's your prediction? Now, of course, we can't, well, I'll let you give your own disclaimer on that. What's your prediction of condo prices coming in 1 to 3 months in Oahu?
Yeah, I mean, condo prices actually went up 7% this past month. And it goes back to what Dylan said. I actually look back at it at like my first year in college economics, supply demand. And, if you have 100 buyers and 100 sellers currently in the market, COVID hit, and the number of new listings coming on dropped to 50 people, looking to put their home on the market. But the buy side, because rates or mortgage interest rates dropped to historic levels, maybe you have 75 buyers in the market now. So there's actually more buyers than there is sellers. That imbalance got to be worse. So prices actually went up this past month, 5.5% for homes and 7% for condos. So part of that, I think the sellers were afraid to come on the market from a health and safety standpoint. Plus, the economy got shut down. People were kind of taking a wait and see attitude. Over the next 1 to 3 months, I don't see a whole lot changing. I think we're still going to have a supply demand imbalance. We're a small island out in the middle of the Pacific with limited land. We've always had a supply demand imbalance, and COVID kind of magnified that a little bit. So I see us either being sideways or a little positive going over the next 1 to 3 months. A little further out from that, it may change a little bit as they start to open stay at home, which is what we're moving towards now. And then the big question is okay, when do we get rid of the 14-day quarantine and allow tourists to come in? Because now, at that point, then you have buyers coming in off island. We don't have any buyers coming in off island, and we still have the supply demand imbalance without any offshore buyers. I don't see things going down for now.
So I've had a bunch of people who were commenting previously from other sources that were saying, oh, the market's gonna crash, or I'm gonna wait because I'm gonna buy at 50% discount. It's like that's not going to be happening. That
No.
does.
And I would like to add another thing. If you look at 2008, 2008 when the crash happened, who only dropped 11%. The bigger key here, which people are ignoring, is the fact with mortgage interest rates dropping from 4.5% to 3%. If you get a $500,000 mortgage now versus a couple of months ago, that's over a $400 difference in your payment per month. For you to be able to get, for prices to drop, for you to be able to get that same discount in your mortgage, prices would have to drop 100 grand. They didn't in 2008, and they just went up now. Why do we assume that they're going to drop drastically like that in the next coming months coming down this road? I don't see it happening. The high opportunity just presented itself a huge gift in the discount in the mortgage rate.
So the old so my favorite line, I'm not a realtor, you guys are, but my favorite line from realtors is the best time to buy is right now. Always the case, right? Best time to buy is right now, which is truer than ever before.